We see a beautiful path and a mysterious, recognizable voice of someone saying, "You have to come behind me to Padre." She is here with her people and an undead is going. A sound is about to blow their eardrums. She calls it and goes behind it. The voice is coming from here, saying, "Padre, come behind me." It falls on her, saying, "Come behind me," and she wakes up, showered in sweat. She sees the room around her and sits up. Here is her hand, and a loud music is going on. She takes it and gets downstairs while calling for someone if they are here. The door is opened. She closes it, stays there, and sees footprints and follows. Here is man causing that loud music. An undead is going for him. She warns him and puts the instrument down so he gets up in time and kills it. He is saying something about his instrument while she is passing out. She is still lying down here, and the man is again at his work. She asks him how she got here. She attends to him, and he gets scared. He hasn't heard her actually for months. She speaks slowly. She was out for 2 days. He brought her from a barn 3 kilometers north. He checked her in her left arm. She tells him she was bitten, and she fought it. He says that wound didn't seem infected. He gave her medicines, but her head is warm and she is in a fever. She wasn't in the barn. She was going back to the sub and fell and passed out. A girl had saved her. She thanks him for helping her. She has to go to her people. She was saying Padre in her sleep. He wants her to help him fix his stereo. She needs time to get fixed. He's Paul and wants to know about her fever. It's a long story. His home is soundproof. That door just deceived. When Beethoven was mostly hearing, he broke all instruments. All his instruments are broken because they are ugly. And that one, he just doesn't do that. There are horses here. Stalkers are here. He has to hide her. He knocks on the door and he gets out. He can't hear him, so he needs to see his face. There is no woman here. He checks our truck. They get in and check. There are medicines here, and that woman keeps having a fever as well after she was bitten. That girl has a habit of hurting others. She is hiding here, and his piano needs tuning. He says he has to call him if he sees her. He checks out his family, so they leave. He sees them going and cooks for her. She tells him they lived at the same place. Things went messy and he blames her. She seems nice to him, but perhaps he might be liking company. She tastes it and he laughs. These are haggis. Rowan was Scottish and the pantry was always full of them. His first-time reaction was the same. These are easily found anywhere in the market. Rowan was his wife. In the bombs, he lost her and his hearing at the same time. He's gonna sleep. He has to go. She is not the person he's thinking of. Arno said true things about her. People get hurt due to her. His life is at stake as well. He will die if she leaves him here without that stereo. He knows where to find it. Here they are. He still wants to know about her situation, and if it's connected to Padre she was talking about in her dream. She was taking them there, and people died on the way, and Arno blames her. Another place is the tower, but the owner is keeping people out. She wanted to get Arno and his people to fight for her for the tower. She tried for Padre and they died. She had a reason then not to blame herself. Beethoven's 9th was last concert, and the premiere happened in this hall. At the end of it, people went crazy with his music. He used to play the piano. Rowan played the violin. The bagpipes belonged to her. He gave them to her on her 40th birthday. When he lost his hearing, she thought he would hear the bagpipes anyway because they are very loud. He got his anger due to his silent world onto her. She says he can come with her to her friends. The horses are here. She asks him to stay in. She gets out, and the truck is here, and so are the stalkers and Arno. He asks Paul to get out. She thought Padre was safe to go to. He says to say that to these. He says she is the one who ordered them to find the late great senator. It will be amazing and better if they punish her for what she did. They died because she had said that she knew the path. Now she has to become one of them. As he is about to open, his hand is shot. He shoots another, and the undead are out and eating the stalkers. He takes his aim, but Alicia is the savior. He has a few bullets left, the stereo falls, and she asks him to freaking get inside. He wants to bring that back. Only that thing can reduce Rowan's voice. She was on her way back when the nuke happened. She was on the radio. The warhead struck and a very high-pitched sound came. She screamed, and after that, there was complete silence. She says she gets it because there is a voice from her dreams that is not leaving her as well. She has been watching it again and again for months. She first had it when she got bitten. She was out for days, and the fever was increasing, and she had this dream. It was about following an undead, and there were all these people as well. She reached it, and it turned. It was the same undead that had bitten her, and asked in a very not his own static voice to follow him to Padre. She won the trust of all these people to follow her, and it was a lie, and all these died because of her. Now she only hears that voice whenever she falls asleep by mistake. He wants to talk about him going with her to help her. He says both can help each other to mute these voices. Another stereo is here. She doesn't want him to get hurt. He says they have to stay prepared for Arno if she trusts him. She does. He contacts him and says she deceived him as well and to meet tonight at his house. He is fixing the stereo and preparing the place for a war. He says it might not be important to mute Arno. She might should keep hearing her voices. His dad was a pianist. When he started taking lessons, he always got beaten by his teachers because no one can make the best music by copying it. It didn't work out because she thought someone else was telling her. But it's her voice, and she has to hear it to not regret it later. Arno is here. He guesses her to put it in her ears. He turns the stereo on. He's with his men. He rounds the house. There are many. The door is locked. Music starts, and they open the door, and he fires at them. Music is attracting the undead. They take out a few of his men. He kills them as they enter from the front door. So does she. Stalkers are coming from behind. She kills the undead and moves. He takes out one. There are too many. Arno is killing them. He goes for him, and the music goes off, and Arno can hear his footsteps. He turns and shoots as the undead get him. She takes him along into a room. She checks it out. It will be fine. She will help him get to the sub for help. He says it's too late, and she has to go. He and her friends would have followed her. She has to trust her dream. It's her own people. He asks her to go. He says she will make it out if they can't hear her. He is knocking at the door, and the bagpipes start. He's doing it while Alicia is out and going. He watches her while doing it. Arno is in and takes aim. She is almost away. He closes his eyes, and the music shuts with gunfire. She is far and on the road. She stops and sees that girl again. She gets to her. She sits down and falls to pass out. If she helps her, she might help her as well. She is in the dream again and alone. The senator is going. She calls him while he is saying Padre. She gets to it and says, "Hi." It's herself, and she says Padre and asks her to follow her. Behind are all her friends and family, and so is that girl with them. She wakes up and is in the sub. She is fine and was out since last night. He is taking care of her fever. She asks about that girl. When they found her, she was alone. He asks about Arno. She apologizes. He will find another way. She already has one. She wants him to promise her not to stop her. He wants a simple answer to a simple question. She tells him about her dream in the bunker. She thought that voice was coming from Padre, but it was from inside her. Her mom and Nick have theirs. She will go to the bunker for a transmitter that will help her reach people who are looking for Padre and make herself a Padre. She will give them a place to live, and it will make an army to take the tower from Strand. She can't rest and will be back, and will need him to be ready. She leaves. The stalker is almost dead. It's just these two. He gets out and sees. Here is a dig. The entire herd is inside and is contaminated. If one of them gets out, no one will surface out here on the ground.